is reading the Iliad changing my perspective of how I would like to see 2026 film The Odyssey? So the Iliad was written by Homer and the Odyssey was written by Homer, and 2026 film The Odyssey is both based on the Odyssey written by Homer. And so I was at the library and I was like, I wonder if they have, you know, the Odyssey, and they didn't, and they had the Iliad, and I was like, sure, I haven't read this. So I picked it off the shelves and I'm reading it. I'm 200 through page 240. We'll see when I can get it done. And I was like, back in March, so I'm Tanis, hers of Seattle, and I'm filming this Sunday, 10 May 2026, and a little over 2 AD, because it's written, crafted 2,800 years ago, approximately, so, approximately 800 BC, so I said, this is the 2026 AD year. So is this changing my perspective of how I would like to see the 2026 film, 2026 80 film, The Odyssey? And so I previously, over 2.00 months ago, it was in March of this year, I put out 2 different approaches I could take for seeing The Odyssey, the film, in a movie theater at a Cinnabar, and a real Cinnabar, a Cinnabar. And so is my view of what I put out there changing? There's a little bit of a snap. So I put in one, it was like, I go and spend a day at the cinema and I do like 3 movies in a row, and I do the Odyssey in the middle, and I do a boozy peanut butter boozy shake. I like peanut butter whiskey and peanut butter cups, and that kind of stuff. And so that was a beverage kind of approach. And spending a day at the cinemas where I do at least 2 movie showings and at least 6.00 hours of movie going, consecutive, uninterrupted. And then the food pairing one was where I don't actually get food during the movie. I do a before and after, and do like Spud fish and chips, so, which is a nearby place. And because I was like, fish is like kind of, it's a seafood, and they like might have had fish and eaten it back then with like potatoes or something, and like as in like at the time of the Odyssey. And then I said, and then afterwards I was like, maybe I'll eat like a log of goat cheese or butter, like stuff they might have had out there. It was like, but it was, they're coming up with ideas. And I was reading this, and there's an altar, so they've invaded, so the Iliad's about the Battle of Troy, so, and there's an altar towards the water, and a woman prepares food or something, and there's goat cheese and honey. And I was like, goat cheese? I said goat cheese. So there's a little bit of positive reinforcement in the sense of like, I chose the stuff that for those like approaches for seeing the Odyssey. It was like, maybe they had it back then. So I got a check mark on at this one. There was goat cheese. So okay, if I want to stick with goat cheese, there's a, well, it's in this one. All right, I'm gonna have to read the Odyssey again to see if they bring up goat cheese, maybe. But so yes, like in the sense of like, I did get something right in that sense, which is actually rather cool. So there has been that kind of a change. There's also, yes, a strengthening on soloist approach. The approaches I named were for me as a soloist. For me to share, I would have to host, and I choose not to extend that to my blood family. Yes. So I back in 2025, I started kind of putting together how I wanted to see Project Hail Mary. It came out earlier this year. And like I wanted to go approximately opening day. And that didn't happen. And fortunately, I would call fortunate. Fortunately, none of the things I wanted to do for that I've done. So like those are things that I could still do. All right, it was a multiple month, the year before, kind of like with the Odyssey, right? I saw the trailer back in, was it like 2025? And I was like, I don't even know what to do with this at this point in time, because they were like July 2026 or something. And I was like, So then I was like sluggish, and I got stuff out, you know, a little over 2 months ago, 2.00 months ago in March. But so and this one, I'm like, since I went with family for my first viewing of Project Hail Mary, I'm gonna approach this one as a soloist. Fortunately, the approaches I put out there, I'm like, I can, like, if somebody were to like bump me, so to speak, on this one, well, they don't bump my approach. I get to choose what I order, what I eat, what I consume. If I'm eating in my car, right, they're not, it's not their car. So there we go. In terms of hosting, I just, so there's that. It'd be cool. Is Homer gonna be there? Do I host Homer? So I'm like, I'm trying not to shut off and being like a horrible person. I'm also trying to be like, there's a business model behind this channel, and I don't want my business channel to be hijacked. So if somebody tries to like bump me on my in-person stuff, that means taking off the table the production part, so that it retains me and you guys get me. So there we go. So yes, it is. I got a positive reinforcement on goat cheese, but and a positive reinforcement on my approach as a soloist, or hosting of staying open, right, to hosting. So there we go.